All right, back again. Another message. We're talking about why you felt like you and the narcissist at that time had a chance. Why you felt like there was a possibility of something working out. Regardless of all the stuff you saw and went through between you and them, you still had something in you that was saying, but maybe there's something, this one thing that you could tweak, you could fix, you could correct, and it would solve the constant reoccurring issues that was causing most of the problems between you and the narcissist. Right? And a big part of this, of why, is because in the beginning, the narcissist shows you so much potential, right? They show you so much potential of what things could be, because that honeymoon love bombing stage is very powerful and appealing, and it leaves a very strong mark on the person of how things were in the beginning, before all of the bad stuff started going on, before all of the lies you started to catch them in, and the bad behaviors, and the just the recklessness of how narcissists are. Before you got to witness all of this stuff, it left a mark on you of why you decided to be with them in the first place, right? Because in the beginning, we all made a choice. You made a choice to decide to be with them, to decide to build and create what you thought was going to be a relationship with the narcissist. And the other thing that keeps people holding on so much is that future faking. And this one is to a degree of where they are stating that they're working on themselves and they're trying to improve, right? They're trying to improve themselves from where they are now that you are not comfortable with, or what you do not like about them that's causing issues. They're always saying that they're going to get better, they're going to improve. And a lot of narcissists will agree, not because they mean it, but just to buy time with you. They'll agree, yeah, I need to work on this. I'm working on myself. I need to work. So it's like to say they acknowledge the fact that they do have these problems, but work with them. They're trying to fix it. They're trying to do something about it. And in this case, with that type of future faking, many people buy into it. You buy into and you sell out on that fact that the narcissist is trying to do something about the things that are causing the issues between you and them in your relationship. And so you fall back. You start, giving them chances. And the narcissist is really, adept at once one thing is fixing or moving the goalposts, let's say, which means once one thing that you had an issue with gets addressed, it's another problem. Then it's another problem. Then it's another problem. It never stops. And so they're good at giving you the illusion of one thing being addressed and fixed, but then creating and having other problems come up. Then you supposedly work on that, but then there's another issue. Then you get to doing stuff and putting your attention into that, and then it's another issue. And it just goes on and on and on and on. And you find yourself chasing behind the narcissist, trying to correct what appears to almost be like an unruly child who is not trying to get right or on the level that you need to function in a healthy manner. And it just keeps going on and on and on. It never stops. And that's what delays a lot of you. It delays you from making that decisive decision to say, nah, this is not gonna go any better. This is what it is. Too many issues. Well, see, the problem is once you start to engage and commit your time, energy, and money into something, it's a lot harder to break away from those when you have committed in those ways. When you've committed your time, you've committed your energy, you've committed money even to the situation with them, people tend not to just let that go. You've invested way too much to all of a sudden turn around and say, forget this, I'm done. You're in too deep. And this is one of the games that the narcissists play to make you, commit in those ways, to make you spend a lot of time, make you spend a lot of your efforts into getting them right and dealing with them, and make you spend money on them and so forth and so on, paying for useless marriage consultations and paying for useless relationship consultations and advice with them for it all to be for nothing. But they don't mind because you're spending money and time and you're investing your efforts all on them. This is another thing that gets left out. People say trauma bond, but sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's just the mere fact that you've spent so much time, energy, money, and effort into that person that it's hard to just let something go when you've made that sort of type of commitment. It's hard to let go. And if you do, then you have to live with that fact like, damn, I wasted all this money. I wasted all this time. I put all this effort in for nothing. Not a good feeling. Not a good feeling at the end of the day. So a person is 10 times more likely to hold on and try to weather the storm, even though it looks grim, it looks bleak, just to not have to deal with the inevitable result of failure. Because, you don't take that into account. People's fear of failure within these situations, failing at something that they put so much of their time and effort into, is overwhelming. That feeling of failure, it has a large impact on a lot of people, to where they'll do anything just to not feel like they failed at something that they gave so much effort and time and attention to, especially if you're not used to failure. Yeah, we can say people fail at things all the time, but if you are more of a person who comes out on the winning end because you're smart, you're intelligent, you have good sense, and pretty much everything in your life is intact and in order, and that's how it's been throughout your life, and then you get this situation and it's like, what? Wait a minute. No, I know I can get this right. I always get stuff figured out. But this is one of those things that you will never get figured out. But you continue to hold on and invest until it's too much and you have to let go. And then you feel the thing you inevitably, arrived at, which you did not want to happen, is to take a loss, to fail at that situation. And that's what a lot of you try to avoid so hard, and you prolong what's going to only happen anyway. All because of that fear of failure and losing out on everything that you've invested and committed to that person, and having to have the thought of that person going on to someone else and being everything that you wanted them to be when they were with you, doing all the things that you wanted them to do, but now they're doing it over there. Yeah, we can all say, folks, in hindsight, you look and say, oh, it doesn't matter now. But when you're in the midst of it, maybe not all of you, but some of you, those were definitely things that crossed your mind. You didn't want to see them move on after you invested all this time, money, effort, went through all of these trials and tribulations with them, and then they just ride off, and you're stuck with the L. You're stuck with that loss. Not a good feeling. Not a good feeling. And so in many ways, a lot of what we say is hurt is actually pertains to our egos. Because our egos are definitely going to be wounded after something like that. Doesn't feel good, especially when you had the right intentions for them, but they didn't have it for you, and you weren't able to catch the scheme that was being ran on you the whole time. Knowing that you could have saved yourself time, money, and everything else had you been able to see the direction that was going and the true intention of what that person was really meaning and doing. You would have cut that off immediately. It wouldn't have been any extended stays with the narcissist in that situation. So, message of this, folks, is that sometimes it's better to just let go and take your loss and take the L. Fear of failure will have you go through unnecessary grief that you could have avoided way ahead of time. One loss doesn't define who you are as a person, or what you're capable of, or what you've accomplished. All right. Anyway, hit the like, share, subscribe. If you want a one-on-one, click the link in the description box. Email me. I'll get you information on how to go about doing that. Until next time, have a good one.